Hi! Monica here from Burnt Earth Pottery here in Brooks, Alberta. Today I'm going to show you how to prepare a clay slab and how to hand build a cup, a bowl, and a plate. I started by rolling out some clay to be a little less than a centimeter thick. Then I wet and squeezed out a sponge and passed it over the slab. Since I didn't have a clay rib, which is this thing on screen, I used a Tupperware lid to compress and strengthen the slab. For the compression part, you are going to want to use something that isn't flimsy and that has a straight edge. Now I left the slab to sit for a bit to stiffen. To make a mug, I traced a circle onto the clay. Then I made a rectangle, and the height of the rectangle will be the height of my mug, and the length of the rectangle needs to be able to go around the base circle. I used a skewer or toothpick to score the edge of my base circle. Then I used some slip and I placed it where I had scored the circle. Then I placed the edge of the rectangle over the scored edge of the base, and I wrapped the rectangle around. Then I cut away any excess clay. I let the remainder of the clay overlap and cut it at an angle. I score and add slip to the walls of my mug. I stick the two ends together and smooth out the seams. I smooth the outside and the inside seams at the base of the mug. One way to make a handle is to start off with a rectangle of clay and make it into an hourglass shape. Roll up the shape lengthwise and test how it feels in your hands, then unroll and adjust the hourglass shape as needed. Once the handle is to your liking, score the sides, add slip, and smooth out the seam. Cut the ends of the handle to fit the mug. Score the ends of the handle and add slip. Place one end of the handle onto the mug and wiggle it around until it stays put. Repeat with the other end of the mug. Smooth out the seams between the handle and the mug. You can decorate your mug however you like, but I'm just going to show you how to make a quick little sprig. You're going to make a ball of clay and you're going to squish it down, and then you're going to take a stamp and you're just going to press it down to the stamp, and then you're going to score the back of the sprig and put some slip on, and you're just going to put it on your mug, wiggle it around until it stays in place. Smooth out the seams around your sprig just to make sure that it sticks. You could also make a braided handle by just braiding together 3 rolls of clay. You could also just cut your handle out of a slab, but you're going to want to let this one sit for a bit in the shape of a question mark just so that it's easier to handle. Pun intended. You could also add stamps onto the handle. Okay, let's clean up and move on to the next project. I have prepared another slab and just traced around a bowl and a plate. To prevent the clay from sticking to the bowl, I place plastic wrap over it. Now I grab the circle of clay and center it over the plastic wrap covered bowl. Now I shape the clay into the shape of the bowl. Once I have the shape that I want, I just trim the edge with a knife. Now I can set aside the bowl and work on the plate. Again, I just place a circle of clay onto the plate and press the clay into the shape of the plate. I smooth the edges with a sponge and set them aside to dry. If you wanted to, you could also just pinch a ball of clay into the shape of a bowl or a cup. Once you got the shape that you want, you can use a sponge and a tool just to smooth out the clay and trim the top. You could also just cut out a circle out of a slab and use a circle of crumpled up paper to support your clay while you shape it into a bowl or a plate. When your projects are dry, use a sponge just to smooth out any sharp edges. And those are just some ways that you can make a cup, a bowl, or a plate with clay at home. If you want to get your items fired, put your name on them and bring them back to the shop so that we can put them in the kiln. We sell clay at $1 per pound, and you can fire your piece with no glaze for $5 per piece, and you can fire your piece with 1 or 2 glazes for $15 per piece. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.